Stirling Talks with Wilson on Stirling Community Radio.
The train now approaching platform 1 is the 0900 service to Stirling.
Good morning, everyone. This is Stirling Talks. Wilson here. You may remember a while back we had Seam Junkies on over there in the Calpa shop. I'm a big fan over there. Who are you? And is it Heeland Vintage, Heeland Kicks, Heeland Stuff, Heeland everything? What's going on, man? Who are you?
So I'm Harris, and it's all of the above.
Well, that's the thing. You've got quite a few things going on, don't you?
It is indeed. So Heeland Style is kind of the umbrella for both Heeland Vintage and Heeland Kicks.
Right.
Heeland Vintage being a hand-curated vintage range for men and some unisex and soon some women. And then Heeland Kicks, I guess, which is probably the real passion, which is custom designed, hand-painted trainers, high heels, Crocs, any kind of shoes, and football boots as well, using a variety of styles.
So that might have been where, if you've been around the Stirling and the social media, because you keep popping up on my feed here, and I'm like, how did he do that? And for people that haven't seen it, Heeland Kicks, it's not just, we'll clean your sneakers out, we'll get you some, whatever, we get your trainers going. It's a little bit... This is art, man.
Yes. So for someone who is self-proclaimed not an artist for pretty much 50 years of my life, and in honor of my fiance who is an artist,
right.
She now tells me that I am definitely a maker, and yes, look, it is art. It's paint, it's acrylics, I even tattoo leather and shoes if I need to get a really fine design. So it's a whole bunch of hand-curated I guess designs that ultimately will become a shoe. Right. But I do clean too, so not to lose sight of the fact
not
that...
knocking that at all, but it's you're doing it, but you're kicking it up a notch, 12.
I think it's really like people who love their sneakers like me. I will confess at some point through our conversation as to how many shoes I've owned through my life. It's a lot. But I think people who really love their trainers and want them looked after, a high level cleaning is like worth its weight in gold, because we spend a lot of money on trainers now. Right. And I kind of see myself as the opposite of fast fashion, where I will get as much life out of a product as possible. And keep giving it life, whether that's through colour, design, or just really good cleaning.
So this isn't something that you've done your entire life, but I have a feeling your sneakers are something that your love of brands and the style is something you've had most of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say, and for those who know me, know my... Is it an obsession with trainers? Maybe to a certain degree. Yeah. I was a rugby player professionally, at which point I was really fortunate enough to be sponsored by some of the big brands like Nike, Adidas and Reebok. So I would always take shoes. I think at worst, my loft had around 600 pairs of trainers in there. A lot of them one-offs. And through the years, they've been gifted away and found new homes and got lost in house moves. But I love trainers. I love the individuality of them. So what I try and do is take it to that next level. I only create one-offs. That's it. So every time I use a paint, it gets thrown away.
So this is an interesting one, because we had Back to Life on, and we had him, and he did a great job describing this for our radio people, because you can't see. If you listen to this on socials, you'll see some pictures and all that stuff. For people that can't see this right now, when you say what you do, describe it a little bit more for me. What's the process here?
So it starts with a concept. Someone has a desire for something different more often than not. They've maybe got a favourite football team or a favourite band, or they just have a favourite piece of clothing that they want to match a pair of shoes to. Guys find that they'll have a favourite jacket and they want a pair of shoes that matches in the casual culture, in that football culture. That's really, really big. So I will first agree on what's the canvas, right? Is it a new shoe? Is it a shoe that's pre-loved? It needs to be in reasonable condition, so that I can then bring that either back to life, or in case of a new shoe, strip it down. So take all the toxic coverings that, yes, that's what your top brands put on your shoes to keep them looking fresh. And that's why they wear really, really quickly, because it's effectively really thin wax. So strip that back, And then it's whatever comes out of my head most of the time. And that's the fun bit for me, is taking a concept, learning about something. So I had to do a pair of Aston Villa shoes, didn't know anything about
I'm sorry.
I know. But then I researched them, and you find out, they won the European Cup in 1982. Then the journey of their colours I find really interesting. So the colours that they're wearing now may have changed. So the shoes that I did for a customer, I had to go and find the retro colours from 1982. Oh wow! Because using the colours now for me doesn't fit.
Right.
So it's then going right back to the start of that journey, matching it to the era that you're building the shoes for, and then creating something that really is a statement piece for that point in time.
Right.
So it's creating a memory effectively,
right.
But an artifact that sort of like triggers that memory,
right.
and it means something really important to the person that's wearing them. But the key there is the person that's wearing them. I don't make shoes to go on a shelf.
Right.
I make shoes to wear.
Right.
I make trainers that you're going to put on and you're going to cut about the streets,
right.
and people are going to ask questions about them.
Right.
It's going to get you a bit of attention, and you can comfortably say, this is the only pair of these in the world.
Wow.
And I think that's really special.
Yeah, no, I do too. And you mentioned colours there as well. How important is colour? And I think you said your partner's an artist. Mine is as well, graphic design. And for the average person, oh yeah, that's close enough or whatever. No, it's matching a colour. It's not just an art; it's a science.
It is a science, and my partner Vicky keeps me really honest with this. Right, she will impress upon me the importance of that attention to detail, and she is very creative, really super creative, and I do think a lot of that's rubbed off on me when I've kind of cast off my corporate shackles, if you will, and freed myself into doing something for me, in this sort of retirement period of life. She's really drilled into the importance of staying true to yourself and finding what it is you want to create and going for it. Right. The science of colouring is probably the bit that I find the most interesting.
Right.
Young man, I worked in kitchens. My eyes are useless, right? My glasses can probably...
You've got some cool glasses, though.
Yeah, I know, but if you hold them up to the sun, they could probably create an earthquake.
I've got some thick ones too, right.
But my nose and my palate was the thing that taught me how to cook and taught me about flavours. So now... I've finally got a use for my eyes, and it's about colour matching. Yeah. So you'll see me at the back of the Calpa menswear store. I'll have test tubes in my hand mixing suede paints.
Oh, wow.
I'll be colour matching little silver tins that I use. We're colour matching a pair of gazelles right now. I am to a couple of posters that we've got on the wall for the store. Okay. So again, close isn't good enough.
No,
it has to be
right on.
100% accurate to within a percent where the human eye can't get there, or I keep going and keep going.
Well, you're definitely speaking some people's language with that, because just getting that color match is amazing. Do you remember, because I think we're probably similar in trips around the sun here, and it was different. Well, it was different back in my day and all that stuff. And I remember, and I was in America at the time, moved over as a kid. I remember the first time I really wanted a pair of sneakers, really wanted them, and I didn't get them. Mm-hmm. Do you have a moment where you realized that, or when sneakers hooked you?
What a great question. I grew up with Dunlop green flashes, and I probably think that'll resonate with anyone of our age group over here. Yeah. And everyone did. They were plimsolls, or they were white with a hint of green. And thinking there must be more out there. So I got felt tip pens and started colouring them in, because I did not want the same pair of shoes as everyone else. Right. And then I would try, a bit weird, but extracting colours from petals, leaves, anything that was just a bit different. I grew up sort of in farmland, so... taking colour out of potatoes even. That's what you did. You chopped stuff up, you figured out how it worked, and then, it got a colour. I'm going to put that on a shoe. And then from that point on, I think sort of going into high school, those years when, the bigger brands really started to land. So your Campuses, your Gazelles, your Sambas, and then the Jordan thing. And actually, the Jordan thing pushed me against trainers. Right. People were dying for shoes. Exactly. Right, in the States. People were dying over a pair of shoes.
This isn't... They really were. He's not embellishing here.
It's genuine. I mean, there's multiple songs written about this stuff. It's terrifying. And I kind of went, they can't be worth that much. But to some people they are. And then I realised that I was one of those people. So I won't kill for shoes. I'll kill to make a good design. It's something that really resonates with me. And I love the fact that one style can come in so many different flavours.
Right.
So I can take a pair of Sambas, and I've probably got around, through my life, over, I'd say, 150 different colourways of Sambas. And now I get to make the colourways that no one else has got.
Right.
So that is pretty cool for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a mahogany pair that I did for one of my colleagues the other day. I then started out last week with creating the whitest white that I could find, which is a bit of a theme in trainer sneaker world at the minute.
Right.
The whitest white and the blackest black.
Right,
So I've got a black paint that absorbs light. Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
But the whitest white's really interesting because you start adding platinums and silvers and blues and all sorts of colours. So I did this gum-based Samba with, I think it was Sambas, maybe Gazelles, with double white on the top, as we'd call it, only whites.
Right.
And then came in the next morning and flips it into what I call the Inca Gold by taking gold pens and hand painting sort of Incan designs all over them.
Right.
And they go really, really quickly. And there's a funny story behind that. As I said to Carl, who runs Calpa Menswear, they're for me. And he said, well, not if I sell them today. And I said,
Did you?
He did, yeah.
Wow.
So, but now I've got a really, really happy customer who's got a lovely pair of shoes. And that guy then came in about 2 hours later with a pair of Nike Courts and said, I'm going on holiday in 3 weeks. Can you do something custom?
Right.
And then, he's now got a beautiful pair of blended salmon pink sort of courts to go on holiday.
So you mentioned Jordan there. And I think for many of us, that Jordan brand, so I was born here, moved to the States as a kid, and one of my earliest memories I was back and forth a good bit. One of my earliest memories, besides getting beat up because I talked funny, was shoes. And it was when the Air Jordans came out, because I was in North Carolina, where he went to school, to UNC Tar Heels. And I coveted the high top, the black and the red pair of Air Jordans. That first time they came out. These were the ones. And I didn't get them because, too much money, blah, blah, blah. But what I got Ralph Sampson Pumas. They were suede.
Oh, now we're talking.
And I got, so you know.
Oh, no, Ralph's, yeah.
Okay, so, years ago, I actually interviewed him, and I told him the story of how he wasn't very impressed, which, I'm thinking about, I wanted those, but I got yours.
Yeah.
And they wore them to school, and I was like, oh, these are kind of, no, did not go over well. People were like, you got the knockoffs and all this stuff. Ralph Sampson was a great basketball player over there for many years.
100%.
That's had some troubles here later in life and all that stuff. But so I had Pumas. So I went through a bit of a Puma suede phase and all that stuff. And then that turned into Adidas.
Yeah.
So my next question for you, you mentioned you have sneakers that you want people to wear. Yeah. Do you have a pair that's just up on the wall that you will not wear?
Yes.
Tell me about those, because I do too. Just one pair.
So, okay, can I do two?
Yeah, go on.
There's a reason I'm going to say two. Yeah. So, I have a collaboration that Adidas with Timberland about 20 years ago, and everything was around Timberland boots. They did a Stan Smith, which was my favorite design of Adidas shoe for years and years and years until I got old and my feet widened.
Same.
But I had, I think, about 70 different pairs of Stan Smiths, but the Timberland collab I couldn't wear. They were so beautiful. The blacks with the orange against that traditional white and that really beautiful silhouette that the Stan Smith is. Yeah. I just couldn't wear them. Right. And they've stayed in a box, and I still have them to date. I have this thing where I won't make a shoe now that isn't for wearing. There is one exception because I've almost finished them at the minute.
Right.
And that is, there's a pair of Patrick Rios. Now, not a lot of people wear Patrick anymore. They're actually a stunning silhouette of shoe. They're a lovely narrow shoe.
Right.
And lots of sort of canvas to play with, lots of lovely plain leather. So I did a pair of shoes for a friend online, Sons, that if you follow at Heeland Kicks, you will see the sort of the unboxing of that, which is a tartan, hand-painted tartan shoes.
I saw that. I saw that.
So they're my favourite shoes I think I've ever done. And then a Saltire pair, which have got a lot of interest. But I sent him some tunics. So I'm brewing some tunics and a caramel wafer. And I thought, well, what could be more Scottish than a caramel wafer?
Right.
I'm going to make a caramel wafer shoe.
Right.
So they're nearly done, and they're completely gold leaf, and obviously that red gold leaf to create the two unique metallic colours. So it's been a bit of a labour of love, and I covered the shop in glitter the other day. Much to the chagrin of John at Seam Junkies. John, I'm really sorry again. I bought him a lot of Haribo to make up for it. But yeah, so I kind of took everything downstairs, and downstairs is just covered in red and gold glitter, but they look fantastic.
Wow.
And they will go on a shelf or on a wall as a bit of
You're
fun.
not selling those.
Not at the moment, but I think Carl might have something to say about that. But no, they're so unique, and it's taken weeks to actually get the right products to do that. Lots of testing.
I haven't told this story. You might appreciate this. So I got sent off to a very strict military school as a kid in the middle of Virginia. I don't recommend it, but I had uniforms and all this kind of stuff. But you had your sneakers you could wear, and I had a pair of 1987 hard shell Adidas.
Oh.
Right? And I was really big then into the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and all that stuff, and not a lot of them were. And so you mentioned you want a bit of rebellion there. In the rule book, it didn't say you couldn't write on your sneakers, right?
Absolutely.
So I wrote on one pair Beastie for the Beastie Boys, and on the other pair, just on the bottom of the sole, Run DMC.
Brilliant.
Crudely, nothing like you would do, but I was 13 years old, 13. And so those were the shoes, and I got in big trouble for those. I got in big trouble. You're right. No. Years later, I'm doing a TV show, and DMC came to town. And I put in a request for an interview. And I've only gotten an interview another time with Daniel Craig, he's 007, for an interview. I rarely ask for autographs because it's a bit unprofessional, and I didn't really care that much about anybody. But this is DMC, man. This is Run DMC. And I had a pair of 80. They weren't the ones I had because those got so wore out. But I found an old vintage pair of hard shell Adidas, and he signed them for me.
That's wild.
And those are up on the wall.
That is wild.
Those are on the wall, and those won't get worn. I might wear them once or twice just around the house when the song comes on, but those are probably my favorite.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I think there's something special about meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you this: if you get a chance to meet DMC, he's amazing. He's so cool, so kind, loves it. He does comic books now. Yes. He's very, very cool.
Yeah, no, I like getting into trouble for doing things.
Yeah.
I like bending the rules and pushing the envelope. I mean, the first time I think I got into trouble for customs was actually a pair of rugby boots, and because I was sponsored by Adidas, and so I wrote "Don't Miss" down the stripes.
Okay.
Because I was a goal kicker. Right. So that's it. It's a little message to myself. And you see the guys now, and they've got
all kinds of
stuff. They've got wrist tape, and they've got this, that.
Back then,
honestly, they're kissing their elbows, their wrists, and everything, and and I'm like, just write "Don't Miss," just so you don't forget. Yeah. But that caused a whole bunch of consternation. And it was around the time where coloured boots was coming out, right? Which a rugby player was, and then was a no-no.
Now it's different.
Now it's different. I remember getting my first white pair and just getting lynched by my teammates because they were like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
But I do remember, instead of just taking "Don't Miss" off, I blacked out the entire shoe in protest.
Oh.
And I said, "Well, you said I couldn't write on it."
Right.
And I just said I made a mistake with my polish and my dubbing, and it won't come off, which is a lie. I painted them with a black marker in a huff. But yes.
How'd that go over?
Well, yeah. I mean, we had some conversations around it, but the one thing you get away with as a goal kicker is nobody will tell you to change your boots.
Exactly.
Because it's
a
back to a process, right?
Exactly.
It's a process. It's a mental process. So yes. Yeah, maybe one day people want my shoes signed, but really, I just want them worn, and I want people to love what they're wearing and getting them out there,
And wear them and have a good time. Listen, I love this. I feel like we could do a whole hour here on the vintage as well. We're definitely going to have you back on. For now, though, where can people find out more?
So if you follow at Heeland.Kicks on Instagram and also at Heeland.Vintage, come back and talk about the vintage stuff. That's getting really exciting at the minute. About to extend the range quite significantly. And yeah, just follow us on the socials. Also follow Calpa.menswear because we're now known as the Calpa Collective.
Exactly.
Or internal we call ourselves the Three Beards.
Yeah.
So we've got sort of Calpa Menswear, Seam Junkies, and then myself. And we are trying to create something on the high street that's unique.
Yeah.
An experience that's just different,
I give them a hard time, but I'm a massive fan. But the whole vibe in there, everything you got going on, I try not to geek out too much when I go in because I honestly could get everything in there. But you see, from the old shop to where now to the new place, whatever, you can see what he's doing and the vibe he's got. There's definitely a vibe there, and I dig it.
Well, the next chapter should start.
Don't give it all away.
Should start in a few weeks' time, and that. I will say one thing if I can leave, because one of the big things that's important for us all at the Calpa Collective is about men's mental health.
Right.
So I've actually just finished a piece this morning I think it's the Year of the Wolf they're doing. Yeah. So I'm doing some spoken word around men's mental health stuff there. Yeah. And on Thursday nights, when we do move, we're going to have a little coffee area and we're going to have some talking circles for guys.
Wow.
So
that's brilliant. That's good.
One of my other talents is that I am a therapist. So I did that to give back to people who are struggling in the corporate world.
Wow.
So we want to create a safe space.
I'm so glad that we had this chat. There's so much more we could talk about, and we will. Listen, we're gonna have it linked up on the socials here. If you don't follow, please follow, because it's just the work that you're doing. It's art, it's science, it's just cool. So give them a look right there. Heeland Vintage, Heeland Kicks, Heeland everything over there, all under the sun. And big shout out to our friends over there, Seam Junkies and Calpa as well. This is Stirling Talks.